You're all set.
Thank you. Okay, I'll call to order this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee of the Town Council. And we will start with the approval of minutes from the August 5th meeting. Have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to C, public comment. Are there any comments from the public? Debbie, no?
Are the comments from the public later on?
They
Or
are,
only
yes,
now?
yes,
Okay.
at the end as well.
Okay.
Nobody online, right?
No, it's not a hybrid, it's just recording.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll move on then to D, legislation referred. We'll start with order OFY 26-014 transfer order, CPC First Parish Unitarian Church window project. And so I know in our packet, there's several letters and an outline for the grant itself, explaining the work. I don't know if anybody wants to start with any comments.
None for me. I reviewed the project and
Yeah.
there seems to be a lot of letters and community support for this. And obviously the CPC has their very diligent process, so it all seems to be in order.
Yeah, and the church raised money themselves for it.
Yeah, I like that it's about a 50-50
Yeah.
sharing of the cost here.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. For that 3-0. Moving on to order OFY 26-018, acceptance of donation, the Howard Foundation. I don't know if there's anything to add additional to that.
Yeah, so, thank you. So this, donation is pretty much an annual donation. It comes from a foundation in Brockton. I'm sure that if you read the information in the packet, they have actually been contributing to the town of Bridgewater for the last 10 years or so. It's usually around 10,000. Over the last 10 years, it's, with this, donation, tallies up to about 103,000. So what they do is they just ask that it's only be spent on things for elders, no salaries, no capital, no fixing the buildings, none of that. You know, they just want it to be for seniors to enjoy either a program or lunch, dinner, you know, some kind of community event for the elderly. So we've been fortunate enough to be on the acceptance part of this foundation. So
If I could ask, do you have what it went to last year? I saw that. And send a letter.
Yep, so every year, the seniors center has to provide a report back to the foundation as they report it to their board and everything. And when I don't recall everything, but it was mostly for events, held it was in programs, you know, to assist the seniors. A lot of Valentine's dances or dinners and lunches and things like that. So. But I can certainly provide a year-to-date summary if anyone wants to just take a peek. But it's all good.
Right. Great opportunity.
Yeah.
Just add real quick, I know at the council meeting, I highlighted, you know, in their letter, they had asked, they pointed out we didn't provide that expenditure list. I think that was with staff transition, so we highlighted, you know, that obviously the Courtney and our team know that. So following years will be, you know, providing that expenditure list. So we're feel free to share that with you guys as well, so you know what we utilize it on.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to order OFY 26-019, acceptance of donation to Parks and Rec Department from Ron Enos.
Yeah, so this anytime that the town is donated money for anything else, we have to accept it by the Mass General laws. So this is a park bench donated in front of the Recreation Commission and in the honor of Mr. Enos's wishes. So the Recreation Commission asked us to accept this, and they'll be putting this memorial bench somewhere in Styles and Hart. I'm not really sure where, but I'm sure that info can be provided.
I think the only thing that I add is that, what we're trying to do, we don't have obviously a bench policy or anything like that, but what we want to do is make sure that, benches that we put in place are uniform. So if we do get people who are interested in getting a memorial bench, we're asking that they donate funds for it, so it allows us to install and, make sure it forms the character of wherever it's being placed.
Is there any sort of formal agreement between those who are going to be donating for benches, and so that we obviously will guarantee that there will be a bench in the for the consideration of the funds?
Yeah, well, we haven't. This is like a first.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why the town in the history hasn't done this kind of thing, but we're looking to move forward with some kind of policy and just on the upkeep, maintenance, things like that,
Okay.
that will have to happen. So we are looking at that.
Well, fortunately, obviously, because of the CPC project, we knew what the cost of the benches were.
Mhm.
So when I spoke with Jim and, our small, it was to say, all right, we know what the cost is, this is what the cost is, this is what the install is, and we just did exactly what that was, so.
Cool, sounds good.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay, 3-0. Moving on to order OFY 26020, acceptance of gift, Bridgewater State University. I think President Clark did a great presentation last meeting. It was very helpful to hear from him, and I appreciated him being here. And then I know you've spoken about working with them on future gifts and what that looks like for the town, but obviously very generous of them to donate 55,000 above and beyond everything else they offer to the town. So, I don't know if there's anything else to
Over
add.
the last 10 years, it's tallied up to about 600,000.
Yeah, so there were some years that we had more than 50,000 then.
Yeah, there was one year they gave us a little more
Okay.
in the early years. Didn't have that, but yeah, it's been 10. I mean 55.
Okay.
One year it was like 60, one year it was 50. So kind of evened out, but yeah. 55 was the number.
Sounds good.
And that's split into three, we put 18,333 in fire, one in the police and one for DPW highway, so. They usually supplement their budget or something that they were trying to get into their operation budget or capital, it didn't work. And they use it for that, like I know the highway in years have fixed vehicles, they didn't want to buy a vehicle, but they wanted to outfit a truck to make it, more usable, or trailers to supplement, work on the road. So it's been very handy for them.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. There we go. I think that was it for the legislation for action. I did ask if Lori could share what she has, the general ledgers with us, just as an update to where things stood. And then Lori, I don't know if you'd shared a nice email, and then I saw you shared it with the group just a little before this meeting, but
Yeah, I mean, so typically at the beginning of the year, we're working on closing out the year, prior year, opening the new fiscal year. So July, we don't really put out a budget to actual, because we don't even have we have the expenditure budget set, but the revenue budgets, we kind of hold off till we get everything cleaned up, because we have to roll the software and the system, and it's a big, long process, so. Usually in August, we kind of get our act together and we get the reporting out. We just recently closed August, so we're looking at the reports. So this is the software generated reports. And historically, we put the whole financial packet, which we take these reports and we put them into a pivot table to try to, not make them so tiny, and give them some color and some narrative. And we also give some explanations of, where we are as far as in this period. We give like a little summary at the top, but with all the details. So this year, we're trying to improve that process a little. So we've experimented with some of the computer software. And we hope by September, our first quarterly report, we'll have a nicer looking report packet for you guys. But we'll just share these on the website, just so that you know we're obviously tracking everything with the departments, you know, they're watching their budgets and things like that. So we are tracking and working on it, but we hadn't published anything yet. So just wanted to give you guys all that update. And we'll update the council as well.
Anything particular you want to highlight in here? Anything that stands up?
No, not really. So like not a lot happens for the first 2 months of the year. It's just kind of like, regular operations, like, once we get to the quarter ending at the end of September, we can match to the last first quarter and see as far as revenues, how they are looking, but not a lot of real action happens in the first couple months anyhow. So usually at the 5 to 6 months, we're really looking at where we are and everything's finalized with the governor. So we're looking at the local aid and anything that's different or seeing the school, the vocational schools, the district schools, their tuitions finalized, because we don't always get that final notice until after October. So then, we kind of have an idea of how we originally set the budget. And then it starts falling into place at like, okay, well, this is what's really gonna be. So then we start like looking really hard at what we know may or may not change or where we have to watch. So. Yeah.
Is your blessing for time for public comment?
Is there any other question from the council before we move on to that?
Yeah, I don't know if either one of you could speak to it, but we're already at, which I think is a good thing, 50% of what we had budgeted for building permits. We've collected $115,000. That kind of jumps out. Do we know what projects have moved forward or anything like that?
Not yet, but I think, so it might be one, the college
Mhm.
sometimes has a lot of electrical
Okay,
permits, so we'll break that down a little when we get into the quarterly report, but we'll look at, what we budgeted for electrical plumbing, building permits, so they are all lumped up into this, into the general ledger.
it has it broken out.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
broken out, building, gas, plumbing and wiring, and building
Oh, yeah.
on its
building,
own is
yeah.
at 46%. So it's good to see that we're ahead of schedule. I was just wondering if that was
Oh, yeah. I
a
see
couple
that.
large projects or if we knew what that was coming from.
We'll be able to break it out further,
Yeah.
but I do know that BSU, for example, I spoke with Steve a bit. BSU had a variety, like Lauren was saying, said they had sort of that's from BSU.
Yeah.
A lot of work, hopefully on some construction projects on campus.
And we were very conservative with the building permits this year because we really, highlight this whole deal. You start out in the winter or in, January, February with talking with Steve and everyone and they're like, well, I don't know what's coming. And then all of a sudden you get, boom, boom, boom. So things either come in or not come in. So.
And obviously, I wasn't here for when we did the budget for this year, but that would be a norm. A lot of municipalities this year were very conservative with building and permit revenue because the economy and the uncertainty regarding it. So I wouldn't be surprised with the good turn right now so far. Still early days.
Yeah, so, and what we do is our assessing department tracks the permits, so they are always, they have a list of. We get a constant list from the software that the building department takes in for permits and things like that. That go to the assessing with the dollar amounts and the growth and this is part of what builds on growth too, is it's coming into the building permit, so.
I haven't really got a chance to look at a lot of this, but where are the parking fees all coming from?
The parking fees,
That's quite a high rate already.
yeah, so
Right here, parking.
parking fees come in from Plymouth County, monthly. So, yeah, sometimes they're big and sometimes they're not, so.
Also, is it part of the Lazy or whatever the parking?
No, so that comes in into a different revenue fund. Parking on School Street and those sections that we have parking, that's not in the general fund. This is just from, this from when the police give out the parking tickets, it goes to Plymouth County, so.
Okay.
So then more fines from the police department.
Because they got the fees from the police up top, and then you have the parking fine.
Yeah, so those other police fees, they collect fees for,
Licenses.
gun licenses, so there's an amount that a person has to pay to the town and to the
Okay.
state. So this is the town's portion. They have accident reports and they have, when the details of when we bill out details. And the contractors pay, we get a fee for that, plus they directly pay to the police in another fund.
In the vacant and abandoned, is that what we charge people for land? Cause I mean, it's like 600, I mean,
That's a fine by the
Fine.
building department.
okay.
We don't
It was
usually
interesting
have
to see all
anything.
these. But
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
we
just
don't
got
usually
this.
have anything in that. I thought that was like,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I didn't have one of those in a while, so.
yeah,
That was interesting, yeah.
okay. I see we lost our tattoo license. The store,
Yeah.
store closed in. I like how the big thing moved to Halifax, like in your face. You know what I mean? It was kind of rude. But anyways,
One last question, and again, this is just handed to all of us, but, police holiday is at 28% of budgeted right now. Do we know why that's ahead of schedule?
It might be a couple officers cashed in all their holidays.
Okay.
So sometimes they can cash any that they haven't used or taken. And it's sometimes unpredictable. But it was contractually
Okay.
obligated because a lot of them have to work on the holidays, so they have the option to get paid out or
Yeah.
take the day.
Yes, summer too, so.
Yeah.
4th of July. Yeah, 4th of July.
well,
All right. Good.
thank you very much.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna be trying to improve the package of the financial reporting to make it, helpful
Yeah,
to everyone, so.
so when does the audit start? Because we want to be part of that, and I saw in your report, the audit was starting soon.
So they're planning on coming in the first week of November.
Okay,
So he comes in, one of the main partners comes in with usually a team of 4 or 5. And they spread out and they go to all the departments and look, they have a checklist of things that they go after. So they usually hear about a week, 2 weeks.
and then do they have a meeting with you to show you what they?
Well, they're gathering information.
Yeah.
So then, as they're gathering, they're asking questions, So they don't really give us, they kind of give us an indication of what's, if they see anything. I mean, obviously, if they see anything that's troubling right away, but, they'll just ask a couple questions and, oh, I don't see anything, everything looks good. Or, last year they were here a little longer because we had, they have to do a federal audit too on the funds, on the federal funds. So with the High Street Dam project, that was very labor intensive. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the process will be for this, or is it going to be this group that wants to talk to the auditors, or I'm not really sure how that's going to go, but.
I think
That'd be done.
you brought that up, didn't you, Paul, that we be at least part of it to get a head start of where we are at before we see the budget and all that?
That sounds good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Just thought it was a good idea, thought, you know, if we could see or be part and near the end of the audit, so we'd have an idea of what to expect, you know, the budget and what we have for the school.
Yeah, I think it's great. We can work on getting in maybe a little earlier, having them present a lot, so whatever we can look at, but.
I'd like to flesh out and see what exactly you're looking for too,
Mhm.
because depending on where we are in the budget process and where they're at. We just want to make sure it's informative or worthwhile for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they'll be looking
Yeah.
at last fiscal year.
Yeah.
So they look at the year that's closed. Go
So they
through.
would look at the last year of school?
They don't look at school, they just come into our book.
Because they have
so-
their own.
School
I'm surprised because like I looked at the town's audit and under the school, they said they hadn't sent their audit information. So they don't, once they get audited in the school, they don't share.
It's a separate entity. It
Yeah,
also
yeah.
depends on timing.
But it affects our budget too, so you think they would somewhat, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so once they do the audit now, it has to be uploaded to the state, which is a big thing, so.
Yeah.
They tell us, you have to sign off. They're gonna submit it and then one of us from the town signs off and it's submitted to the state and it goes into the Fed and the federal audit goes into the federal website, so
Yeah,
into a clearinghouse. I mean, if you Google it, you can probably find it.
well, maybe we could, one of the meeting, we could have the audit on here and you guys could go over it with us and show us that, you know, we're okay and this is our budget to go forward, because then we can expect the school.
Is that a bidding process? How do you decide who does the audit?
Yeah, we put it out to bid, but it.
I asked the question last time when they were here in the spring, and there are only so many
Yeah.
companies and very few that do it.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that there were certain things that you didn't have to go out to bid and audit, one of them.
Yeah.
By law. you could-
Yeah, we didn't have to. What
Yeah.
generally, I don't know, obviously here, I would speak with Lori, but what we would do is after a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
we would go out to bid, because sometimes you want to have a fresh
Have a
look
different- yeah.
at your stuff, and your, processes, so. But, generally communities have done like 3-5 years, and then they look at another, firm.
Yeah,
But there's a lot less that are competing now for the work, and
The
all
audit
the
firms-
communities are all still looking for it, so
yeah.
it is a tough climate to get different firms to come in.
Yeah,
But the audit doesn't necessarily factor into what your
Yeah.
budget's gonna look like,
Yeah.
so they're actually just looking at the operations and if you are forecasting, say, or.
Well, they find
spending too
mistakes.
much
I
money.
mean, like last year, the big thing everyone talked about was the $1 million mistake. We had 40, and our bank account had like 41. I think it was 41 million. 4,100,000 or something like that.
What was the mistake?
There was, the audit had that, we had, it was $1 million, I think it was 41 million. And our audit, on our books, it had 40 million.
I don't know
No.
what that, is that?
I've been looking at, I was looking at it not too long ago because I also got the one from the school, so yeah.
Maybe it was.
And
the
residents
school.
were bringing it up, and I think that's why I started going into the audit.
Yeah, no, that's a big finding,
Yeah,
like if that were the town, it would be like, it would be a big deal, and I don't,
yeah,
yeah, there was no finding of.
I'll check it, because I still have the town one, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like checking on mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
Because
wanna
they
see
talked
how
about
you.
some of our investments weren't, insured. Some of our money was insured, some of it wasn't insured. I'll bring it to the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not really necessarily finding, it's just a,
No, they were just, I mean, they bring it up because if the bank goes under, you lose all that money.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
all right, are we good to move to public comment?
Yeah, just a quick question on what Mary was just saying. At one point in time, I thought we had $1 million operational deficit. One point, that might have been what you're talking about, Mary. I
Yeah.
remember.
And it wasn't a deficit. They found out that the numbers
The
were.
numbers were just off. Okay.
That was like last
So
year.
it seemed like that. We can double back on that.
Yeah. No, I never, that
We were in the
was,
middle of school.
That would be part of an executive summary that the auditor
Right.
would do if there was $1 million difference in stuff.
Yeah, that's in the management letter.
Yeah.
They would, in the management letter, so when they do have findings,
yeah,
They have a management finding.
Well, it wasn't like it disappeared, it was just, you know, a number mistake. So it wasn't like you were losing $1 million, you actually had it.
Game.
Yeah. That's all, so it wasn't like a, you know, that huge thing. But yeah, I still have it on the audit.
Okay, couple things. The 200,000 plus that came from Plymouth County. When our county commissioner
The
came and
ARPA check
presented the
presentation?
check.
Yes.
Okay, where in the budget did that go?
So that isn't inside the budget, so that was put towards the capital project of the wells.
Okay,
So there's a outside the general budgeted operations funds, we have capital project funds. That we borrow for, or that we get grants for, or that. So that money went into that capital project.
Okay.
fund.
how much is in that capital fund, capital project fund? How much is sitting in there?
So we had to go out and short-term borrow. So we haven't closed the project yet. So we borrowed a van for $1 million. So that's sitting in the fund right now. And then the additional 200 and
That we got from the
48
county,
from the
makes it
county.
1.2 million.
right.
Um,
But we've spent about 980,000. So there's
on
about
the wells
difference.
at this point?
On just the wells 5 and 9.
Oh, wells 5 and 9.
Mhm.
Okay. One other thing I noticed, this is changing the topic, the roads. Okay, I see you have money allocated for the roads, but when I look at the percentage spent, it's a small amount except for one. Okay,
Mhm.
can we do more road repair while the weather still is good?
So that might be like, so we have a couple funds in the highway department for roadway. We've got roadway supplies, roadway line painting. So there's a few
There are a
things.
few
in there.
lines here that have some money in them. So is there any way that we could take some of that money and let's say do Flag Street and Auburn Street or Winter Street or some of these others that are in terrible shape? Cross Street is also in terrible shape.
Well,
Yeah, we should
I think-
have a back and forth,
yeah,
but
Okay,
you should make the comments.
okay, that's fine. I'll probably end up repeating them during the town manager thing. Okay, lastly, will the golf course for that 20% and 30% be included in the audit?
I don't know what you're referring to.
You're not gonna look into it?
Ask at the town council. Right, the town manager report.
All right,
Okay. Any other comments?
Just
Good.
education, I think, because of the detail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it all being in a
I think
pretty
it's
chart.
easy.
Well, that's,
She's
yeah,
also working on more. I gotta give Lori and her team credit for looking into that, that's
Yeah,
what
we-
she was implying.
yeah, we want to make it simpler so that you can understand.
Yeah,
thank
I think it
you.
looks
the
good.
public
Thank you
will
for the
understand it
budget.
too. and-
Yeah, that's understandable. I like it's line item. It's nice.
Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor?
I.
Aye.
All right.